Okay, I'm going to make a infinity scarf. I've already taken my fabric, which was 2 yards long, and I had already cut it in half and made the one I'm wearing. So basically I had taken this way and folded together, and I cut down this edge and made 2 pieces that were this length. Now I've got to take the right sides and put them together. And in theory, you would pin them, but I'm a lazy seamstress, so I just kind of get them so they're pretty even, and I stitch them up. And that's always worked for me, so once you know they're pretty well even, you got your straight edge here to go along, say, yeah, that's pretty even. And you can run your seam. And you're going to have a great big long tube. Okay? So that's the next thing I'm going to do. Alright, back again. And I've got a great big long tube, as you may or may not be able to see. I could turn another light on. There is a 5/8 inch seam going down the whole length of it. Alright. Now the next step would say to press this seam open after you turn it right side out. But like I said, I'm a lazy seamstress, so that's not going to happen either. Alright, this next step was probably the trickiest, so let me make sure my camera's lined up for that so you can see. And oh, actually, next step isn't tricky at all. Get this straight. Get your edge straight. Line it up on here. Cut off this extra little piece that's here. Get rid of that. Flip it over. Do the same thing at the other end. Okay. Close enough is close enough on the length. So you're going to have a little under 2 yards maybe, depending on what you started out with. But I started out with over 2 yards. And my first one ended up over 2 yards, which seems a little long, but maybe measure it out. 36 and 35. Close enough. I'm happy with that. I would actually go an inch or 2 smaller if you want. It depends on how full you want it, I guess. But you can see it separates a little bit here. Maybe you can't see. Alright. Now, like I said, the next step was a little tricky. And it's the flip. So they wanted you to take and do a 90-degree, just like that. So you've got your fabric doing this. And then pick it up and bring this right under. So I made it flip just like that. Then you just grab this extra edge and you're going to line up your seams, both of your seams. Okay. So once your seams are together, spread them open, and this open, and you're pinning right sides together at the seams. And that's giving you that flip for that infinity scarf. So it's got that flip in the middle. It's got like a twist And you want to take your two good sides together, right at your seams, grab your pins, and pin it. And you spread these open so that you get your little pins in there. If I had a cameraman around, we could do zoom shots and make this all fancy. Zoom up. Or if I had a really expensive remote for my really expensive camera. So you're going to continue to pin this all the way around. And of course you're going to run out of space to pin it, because they're going to meet each other, obviously. And that opening is what's going to allow you to be able to turn this. Go both sides of this seam, because you're going to want to stitch over that. You aren't going to want your opening to fall on your seam, because that's where you're going to have to hand stitch, probably about 3-4 inches. You've got hand stitching to do to close this up. And once you get that stitched, you're just going to pinned, I mean, you're just going to stitch that at 3/8, half. I go just to the width of the presser foot, basically. A little more, maybe 5/8. 5/8 makes it a little easier for the hand sewing. Okay. So you see it's getting kind of tight and getting right back around to the edge of my fabric. Closing it up as much as I can. And then I'm going to stitch right around. It's going to be tricky. I'm going to go stitch it. Be back. Okay, now I've got this one stitched. You can see I just did like a 1/4, 1/2 inch, and it went right around until it got to where the fabric is coming out there. And we can unpin that. Okay, make sure you get all the pins out. They tend to hide. And then just turn it. And your scarf is done. You can see it's got the loop to it. And you've got to do some hand sewing on this little end here, where your seams came together, your raw edges came together. Now, put yourself some pins in, the ends of that. And you may or may not want to press this. Might make it easier to stitch it. Again, I'm a lazy seamstress. I'm not going to take time to do that. Doesn't serve much of a purpose. And even if you don't stitch this that pretty, you can see this one here, not stitched too pretty, but doesn't really matter, because that part, when you curl it up, goes back behind your neck anyway. So go ahead and hand stitch this. It'll take me a few minutes. And oh, here you have the finished product. Okay. Again, I'm not the fanciest hand sewer around, but it works. You can see the twist that's built into it. And you just fold it like this. Oh, I have one on. Here's the new one. I'm sure after it's washed, it'll pop up even more. Beautiful, huh? I hope I'm focused. Bye. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't know what else there is to tell you. It's pretty simple. Bye.